Good morning, everyone. Welcome once again to this appointment with me on Wednesday morning, talking about the news around the world. You're all welcome to be here. I'm really glad to see that some people are watching and keep on meeting with me, even if virtually, during our video times on Facebook and YouTube. So today I'm going to have a look at a couple of articles that I've chosen for you. I found them quite enjoyable and at times even a bit funny and humorous. We are going to read about news related to the entertainment business, both related to the big screen, that is cinema, and the small screen, namely TV. Indeed, when it comes to reviewing films and talking about actors, their performance, the directors and their performance in the creation of films, the author's opinion is always quite bluntly stated, quite straightforward. We can see clearly what the author, the journalist, thinks of the film or the series, like we're going to see in this case. And there is no being neutral there. You're going to see that, and it's something that I really like about the Anglo-Saxon journalistic style. So, as usual, you're going to find the links to the articles that I'm going to read in the comments, also because I've decided to read just a few extracts from each. So I strongly invite you to go and read all of it, because they're quite nice, really. And I think that the language is really entertaining too. All right, so we're going to start with this first article that you can see next to me, that's taken by the BBC Culture section, and it's about a biopic, that is a film about a specific person, famous person. The title goes, "Why Biopics Go So Wrong." So already from the very title, we've got an idea of what we are going to talk about. We're going to talk about a biopic, and the journalist didn't really like it. So this "why biopics go so wrong" is quite a strong emphasis. We use this "why" to explain the reason. So we're going to see the reasons why these biopics go so wrong. As you can see from the main image that you could see at the beginning, this biopic is about the story of David Bowie. So we're going to start reading now. Stardust, a new movie about a young David Bowie, has been widely mocked. So it's been made fun of. It's just the latest example of a real-life icon making for a disastrous film subject, writes Nicholas Barber. So we already have here in the heading a clear idea of the fact that the author didn't really like the film, and he describes Stardust as being mocked, so people laugh at it basically, and it's the latest, so most recent example of a real-life icon making for a disastrous film subject. So this real-life icon, Bowie, made it possible to make a terrible film, basically. Released in 2018, the hit Freddie Mercury biopic Bohemian Rhapsody had its producers singing "We Are the Champions." It won 4 Oscars and took close to $1 billion at the box office. So it made a lot of money. The following year, Rocketman, a musical based on the life of Elton John, did well too, making enough money to keep Sir Elton John designer specs for decades. So here we have 2 examples of the opposite situation. So at the beginning in the title, we have "Why Biopics Go So Wrong." And here we have that Rocketman did well, making enough money to keep the designer specs for decades. So to make money, this is a very useful collocation. When we talk about specs, is a word that we use especially in British English to talk about glasses. And now Stardust, featuring Johnny Flynn as a young David Bowie, thus completing a trilogy of dramas about exotically strange named, sexually adventurous British glam rock legends. So here again, we have a lot of adjectives and modifiers related to these glam rock stars that are exotically strange names. A strange name, that is, their celebrity names were quite unique, quite strange. Sexually adventurous British glam rock legends. So we're talking about this style of pop music from the 70s. The film is released in the UK today. This article is from the 15th of January. So presumably its producers are just waiting for the trophies and profits to roll in. So they are waiting for lots of profit for profits to arrive in great amounts. So they're expecting to make lots of money out of it. Or maybe not. There is no doubting the sincerity of its Bowie-file cast. So it's a cast made out of fans, cast and crew. But unlike Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocketman, so in opposition to Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocketman, Stardust is a low-budget indie movie, so independent, with some unavoidable flaws, some negative sides. The director made the curious decision to cast actors in their 30s, 40s, even 50s, who were to play people who were in their 20s at the time. So here we have these way to talk about the decade, okay? So people who are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, means between 30s is between 30 and 39, 40s between 40 and 49, and so on. So the actors are much older than the people in the film, so than the people they are playing. And because Stardust wasn't approved by the late singer's estate, it has to do without any of his song. So there was no, they got no rights for the music, so they had to do without any of his songs. So they had to find a way to make this film without any of Bowie's songs. The AV Club's critic dismissed the film, so considered it not to be important, with these words, saying it's a junky, so poor quality, biographical drama that doesn't feature any music by Bowie, so it doesn't include any music by Bowie or his contemporaries, and stars a guy who doesn't look or sound anything like the man. So it means that the protagonist, it stars a guy that doesn't look nor sound anything like the man, like doesn't sound anything like him, anything like Bowie at all. The risks involved. The lesson is that the celebrity biopic is the most high risk of genres. When it goes well, it fills cinemas and wins awards, especially in the 21st century. But when it goes badly, so when it goes wrong, as it was seen in the title, a biopic can be terrible. It's in its own excruciating way. So it's very painful even to watch. Actors clearly believe it's worth the gamble, and understandably so. So when we say it's worth the gamble, it means that you can take a risk. It's a risk you are willing to take because you think you will manage to obtain you're going to attain your objective, to obtain your results. So here the article goes on to describe the success of some biopics. We're going to move on. I'll read just a couple of more bits. So we are going to see why the author thinks that people love biopics and biopics are so easy to mock at the same time. So there is a very fine line between being a serious film and being ridiculous. So the high seriousness is one of the main reasons why some biopics are loved and why others are laughed at. Biopics have always been seen as a prestige picture, not something run-of-the-mill, so not something ordinary, dull, uninteresting, something of a higher level compared to other genres. If you look back to the Hollywood studio era of the 30s and 40s, it's full of them. It's full of biopics, because a biopic was thought of as being better than a Western or a musical. It was inviting audiences to see history. So here we have the reason why people love it so much. And we're going to talk a little bit about the paradox of biopics. The paradox of the biopic is that it prides itself of being true to life. So everybody thinks they are realistic. And yet, between the elaborately disguised actors, so the makeup they put on, the costumes, very elaborate, and the inherently formulaic script, so very fixed, you can't really change much, no genre is so bluntly artificial. So it's extremely artificial because it tries to reproduce real life. And that artificiality is getting easier and easier to spot. So it's easier and easier to see when something is not true, is not realistic. Nowadays, we are a click away from fact-checking someone's biography on Wikipedia. So it's we are a click away. It means it's very easy. It's at hand for anyone, the possibility to double check whether something really happened or not when you're watching the film at the same time. So this was this article on Stardust. The review is pretty negative, as you can see, but I liked the fact that it was going deeper and deeper into the genre of biopic and why sometimes it works and why sometimes it doesn't. So if you're a fan of the topic, of the genre, you could go read the whole article. And I was wondering whether you would go watch a film about a music star that doesn't feature any of its songs, where there are none of their songs. So I'm not really sure I would, but it's just something I was wondering. So if you feel like it, you can tell me in the comments. All right, now we're going to read just a couple of paragraphs of another article, not related to the big screen, but to the small screen, so TV. This second article is about the French Netflix series Lupin and its sudden success. I've decided to show you an article that talks about this series from a different point of view, puts it under a different light, because of the social context in which it was written. So this article I've taken from Maverick Life, which is a magazine published in South Africa. So you can see the social context is different. The majority of the population is Black. So this can give you a better insight into the comments of the writer and the point of view, both of the writer and the readers. So we expect something possibly a bit different. So here we go. You can see the article next to me. The name of the column where they talk about TV is This Weekend We're Watching. And here's the title, Bits for a Black Bond. You must be wondering, Camilla, you said this is about Lupin, and now we're talking about James Bond being Black. What's the connection? You're going to see in a second. All right, so bits for a black bond. So bits are an offer that you make when there is some sort of competition, okay? So we are going to see who supports and who doesn't support the idea of a Black actor playing James Bond. All right, here we go. Lupin, the new mystery crime drama. Here we have we are talking about a different genre. Before, in the previous article, we were talking about biopics, and now we have mystery crime drama. Lupin, the mystery crime drama, puts the son of a Senegalese immigrant in the James Bond seat. To put someone in someone else's seat, it means to give this person that role. So the son of a Senegalese immigrant is put in the James Bond role. Okay, it's very similar to James Bond in its way. And he gently confronts xenophobic and racial preconception. After only a week, it's Netflix's most popular French series ever, of all times. All right, so a dashing man in a dapper suit saunters confidently through a party of fat cats. So an attractive, fashionable young man in a dapper suit walks relaxedly, confidently through a party of fat cats, which means rich people, rich, powerful people. He doesn't look out of place, he fits in, but still he stands out from the crowd. You notice him easily, you can spot him easily. He's got a plan, he's on a dangerous mission, but he's cool as a cucumber. He's very confident, very relaxed. High in moral fiber, and you've got to wish you were him. So here we've got a strong engagement of the reader from the very beginning. So we've got this description of the character, of the main character, being a fashionable person, very relaxed, very confident, determined to do what he thinks is right. This is what high in moral fiber means. This man has gone by many names in the past. He's been Neo, Jason Bourne, John Wick, and he's been Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible, Brian Mills in Taken, and he's probably best known as the legendary James Bond. But something is different about our hero this time around. This time, he's black. Cue pandemonium and internet trolls. It means after this statement, this time he's black, James Bond is black, pandemonium, internet trolls follow. When Daniel Craig announced that he'd be stepping down as James Bond after the upcoming Bond 25, No Time to Die, the obvious choice for his successor was Idris Elba. So we have here then what follows is a description of this debate about James Bond being played by a black actor who supports the idea, who doesn't. And we're going to see the link to the Lupin series in a second. Lupin is a French mystery crime drama inspired by Arsène Lupin, the Gentleman Thief, a fictional character, and it's product of imagination, it's a made-up character, often considered the French equivalent to Sherlock Holmes, created in 1905 by novelist Maurice Leblanc. Omar Sy plays Lupin's leading man, Hassan Diop, who has grown up on the Arsène Lupin books. So it means he's a great fan. He's trying to become the hero that he loves so much, that he admires so much. He sought to become a gentleman thief himself. He's a dashing man, so going back to the idea of a charming man in the dapper suit, a man with a plan. He's a fearless street fighter hustler. Hustler is a person that tries to trick people in order to get their money. A ladies' man with a suave charm and a cheeky grin, funny but disrespectful smile. And he's also the son of a poor Senegalese immigrant. So here we have this relationship between the image of James Bond being charming and confident, and the character in this Lupin series being just as charming, just as confident, and being black. We're going now to the end of the article. Lupin is already a front runner in the race for most popular Netflix series of 2021. So he's most likely to win this race, this competition about for the most popular Netflix series of 2021. Currently being currently number 2. So at the moment, it's number 2 on South Africa's top 10 most watched chart. So among the most watched series, Lupin in South Africa is in the 2nd place. So we have here a reference to the country where this magazine is issued. And it's second, Lupin is second behind Bridgerton. It's unlikely to be a coincidence that both series are progressing the conversation about on-screen representation by having cast Black actors in their roles they haven't traditionally played. So we have 1st and 2nd place in South Africa's top most watched shows, Bridgerton and Lupin. And here the author is telling us why, in this social context, this shows a social change. So there is no coincidence. The reason why the most popular shows are featuring Black people in leading roles. So this shows a different sensitivity to the topic. So this is why he talks about Black actors in role they haven't traditionally played. So I wanted to tell you about this series, not only because I think it's quite interesting to see how a French series so quickly got to the top of the charts, but not only in Europe, also abroad, also in the South African context, especially because it's so different from our own. I found it interesting to see what you could see, which kind of similarity you could see there. I'm going to leave you a couple of expressions that you can start using right away to add to your English vocabulary and your everyday life speaking, so that we read in the articles. We have to do without, which means that you have to manage doing something important, doing something without an important element, okay? Like in the Bowie film, there is going to be no music, so they have to do without the songs. Then we've got, a second, it's worth the gamble, which means it's very risky, but there is a high chance you manage to obtain what your objective, okay? You manage to obtain what you want, even if it's quite risky. Then we found to look out of place, which means when you don't fit, you don't belong to a specific environment. Then we have this one, that's my favorite probably, fat cats, which means rich and powerful people. And then we've got this one, cool as a cucumber, which means very relaxed, confident, in control of the situation. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed these articles, that you liked the language that we found in them, and if you have any comments, you can please write them and we're going to respond. If not, go read the articles. They're really, really nice. And I hope you're going to enjoy reading all of them too. All right, as usual, you're going to see me next week at 9:15 on Wednesday morning for our next newspapers, Camilla and Café. And have a nice rest of the day. Have a nice rest of the week. See you. Bye-bye.